Richard Black Pendleton Plus with a natural joint 5/16/14 pin. Just came into the inventory here at Crossroad Cues. This is ebony in the points going into highly figured Birdseye Maple. This cue is signed by the Hall of Fame master cue maker himself, Mr. Richard Black. Richard Black, February 16th of 2006. Nice straight, sharp points. The wood that is in the razor blade windows of the butt sleeve here, that is Snakewood. I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up here, and then I'm going to point out a few minor flaws because you know that we like to under-promise and over-deliver. First of all, it's a nice straight cue, just came out of a high-end collection. Again, you have the natural joint. There are a few small, what I call chips in the finish, right? There are blemishes or chips, not a big deal. But if you notice right there, you've got one at the joint. That could easily be touched up, or you could do a refinish to make perfect, not needed. A lot of people wouldn't mind that. You could just buy the cue and leave it the way that it is. And then as I go down into the butt sleeve, and you got to keep in mind the age of this cue, right? So made in 2004. Again, very nice straight cue made by one of the most famous Hall of Fame master cue makers in the universe, Mr. Richard Black. But as I get down into the butt sleeve area here, you notice you have ebony in the butt sleeve, and then what we like to call razor blade windows right there. So you can call them windows or boxes. Those are snakewood, again, into ebony. And then you have some really nice mother of pearl inlays. So notch diamonds and dots. I love what Richard does with the ring work on this cue. Again, this is called the Pendleton Plus. This was actually one of his catalog cues. Now, if you look up the Pendleton Plus, you can get one. You're going to wait a long time with a stainless steel joint. It's $47.50. Okay, this cue replacement value per Richard Black, because the gentleman that owned this cue just recently checked with Richard Black. He said approximately $5,500. And of course, you know, you're going to wait. Myself personally, I like buying these vintage classic cues, especially when they've been taken care of and they roll nice and straight. I like the older cues, but the choice is yours. We are pricing this under the retail value, and we have taken account the few blemishes that we're again going to point out to you here. Let me see if I can find it right here. You've got one right there, no big deal, and then a couple just right there. No big dents or dings. You can see where it's just through the clear a little bit right there. Again, a refinish would make perfect. I don't personally think that the cue needs to be refinished because, for instance, if somebody had sold us or sent us a cue to sell that was dented and dinged up all over the place, there were scratches all the way through, yes, I would definitely say go back to the cue maker, get the cue refinished. That way the cue can be in pristine condition once again. But in this case, a couple minor blemishes, no big deal. Now back to this ring work right here. You also have the snakewood in the ring work, and then he's got the mother of pearl dots, which are really a nice complement to the inlays that are in the razors, the razor blade windows, I should say. And then he's got the nickel silver trim on both sides. Let's see if I can give you a little bit better perspective. There it is, right there. Leather wrap, that's the other thing too. The gentleman that sent this cue to us spoke with Richard. He said that the natural joint is very, very rare on this Pendleton. You're not going to see very many like that. Again, most of them come with the stainless steel, okay? And that one's dated right there, 3/06. What's interesting about this is that the forearm of the cue, where Richard signed it, is dated 2004, but then the joint is dated 3/06. Now, that could mean a couple different things in my opinion. Number one, he could have started the cue and signed the forearm in 04. It could have been something that took a couple of years, and then he signed it as he finished it in 2006, or perhaps the gentleman that had the cue had Richard change that joint out to the natural white material there. That part I don't know, but I do know that that is Richard Black's signature right there, and that's his writing right there. It's already been verified with Mr. Richard Black, aka RB, the man, the myth, and the legend from the Houston, Texas area. Richard Black has notably sold some of the most expensive cues in all the history of custom cue making, okay? He's done some major work. He doesn't need an introduction from me. You can just look up Richard Black. Most of you are going to know a lot about his work, but for the newer collectors out there, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a more awarded or decorated cue maker. I love how the mother of pearl looks, by the way. He is a Hall of Fame member, and I believe, I'm not a historian, but I believe he's one of only a couple dual Hall of Fame members, with the other being Paul Drexler. Richard Black and Paul Drexler would be, I believe, a couple of the only ones that are dual Hall of Fame members that are among the living, right? So take a look right here. I love how the ebony, the snakewood, the razor blade windows, when you spin this, notice the mother of pearl as I spin it back and forth. Look at that, how beautiful that is. The other thing, all the aesthetics aside, I love the way cues play when you have the natural joint piloted 5/16/14. Very nice hit, not too hard, not too soft, nice firm hit. The weight, all the specs are on the post. You've got two maple shafts. The shafts, one of them is an 11.9 and the other one is a 12.25. One shaft does have a taper roll. The other one rolls nice and straight, and again, the butt rolls straight as well. So there you go. Full disclosure, priced to sell. It's going to be on the website here at Crossroad Cues. No international shipping because of the natural material. There also are some shipping restrictions based upon the area that you live in. You may have to just fly up here and pick it up in person. So there you go. Richard Black Pendleton Plus, just out of a high-end collection with the additional natural joint and the leather wrap. That was the other upgrade that Richard Black had mentioned in comparison to a standard Pendleton Plus. So there you go. If you want a very collectible cue, in my opinion, based on the fact that the gentleman is in the Hall of Fame, or both Hall of Fames, and of course he's not getting any younger. Those of you that collect cues, you know that Richard Black cues have continued to climb in value. Pendleton Plus at crossroadcues.com.